Hello everyone, it's me, your daddy Spoon, King of Wakanda. We are back with another map tutorial guide. It has been a while, approximately 5 months. I was so busy making other content. I was busy making VODs and uploading them on YouTube. Also doing Let Me Explain series for competitive scene in World of Warships. So I couldn't do or continue the how to become a better player in World of Warships, specifically for randoms. And yeah, I'm good to be back in this series. I wanted to finish it, but I had the internet issue, unfortunate, as you guys are well aware of. So I have the packs, basically gigabyte packs, and I can't randomly upload like a VOD every day because it will consume a lot of internet. So anyway, so we are back as always, and we will be discussing the ninth map in the pool. Loop. Loop is a very old map in World of Warships, and it has been like tweaked a bit, and not so much compared to the other maps. But Loop been like there forever in randoms, in ranked, in competitive, to your 8 cards, to your 10 cards. This has been there all the time. WMI as well. So yeah, it's kind of good to be back. And as always, we discuss the approaches, the right plays, what to do in the three main classes: destroyers, cruisers, and BBs. And we try to share the wisdom and the knowledge and how to do base approaches or the best approaches for you in the certain class you like or you prefer to play most of the time. So yeah, as always, we start with destroyers because they are like ninjas of the sea, undetectable but deadly. So yeah, let's start with north. We start with north. So let's say you spawn. This is A, B, C. Let's say you spawn in north. Let's say usually you spawn on the right side, which is like C cap. You're playing ADD, and as always, so you guys know what I'm gonna say. Basically, flank is important in the start. Let me put it green. Flank is important in the start. When you want to do the flank, it's preferably don't do this and turn, because you don't know what's on this side. And if you try to turn like this, sorry, if you try to turn from the other side like this blind, and there's like a radar cruiser here, you're gonna lose unnecessary HP because the radars there will have the range on you, and you wanna keep distance. You see, this is the 10 kilometer standard radar. So let's say it's there, right? And you do that turn, you will get caught to it, and you lose unnecessary HP, right? Because you already like turned so deep, and then you're gonna turn out. And let's do it again. Let's see, like how much is it gonna be? It will be approximately 8 kilometers, 8.4 from a cruiser before you start turning out, which is not the play. You will just lose unnecessary HP for free. So don't do that. Remember, guys, this is a very common spot for raider DDs and ambush cruisers to ambush you in a DD. Remember that. So what you need to do, this is the best approach for you to do in your DD. Like, try to do this approach. Sorry, a second, haven't like entered this site for quite some time. I feel rusty a bit. Do this, always try to keep that open water area, so if you get spotted, you can instantly disengage and turn out with taking minimum damage. And if you're good at dodging, you actually take none. So that's kind of a plus, and it could help you in a later game, because reserving and saving your HP in a DD can always help you win the game in a later game. So yeah, you keep your distance. Try to play the flank as always, and both spawns. Don't do this as well. Like, this is kinda risky for you as a DD. You never know. You can get caught from this side as well with the 10 kilometer raiders or the 12, and you don't wanna do that. Cause this is a common spot for cruisers. So it's like an anchor. You sit there. People can slightly reverse and shoot, slightly here and shoot, and it's like very very limited area to maneuver and play in the 10 line. Like, it's one square. People, if they get caught or stuck bowing, there is no way out. Like in any of the classes, BBs you will die a minute, cruiser 30 seconds, DD 10 seconds, pretty much it. So yeah, you do the approach. If you're a radar DD, it's preferably to go wide if you're playing Gdansk, Smolensk, Ragnar. Denny, Kaba, Marceau, Kleber, try to play wide, and always secure your flank. If you're playing Hydro, you can go for the cap, but only if it's all 2 DDs, like one DD spawn like this, one like this, one like this, one like this. So the one can go the outside and the other one can dive into the cap. But don't leave the flank. Why is that? Okay, so let's say you left the flank, right? You didn't go for the flank, you insta dive. Let's say you're playing a Z52 or a 42 or a vampire 5 kilometer or a daring or a droid, something with hydro, or the Z57 that's gonna have 7 kilometer hydro. This is what the hydro looks like from here. You see the 6 kilometers, very deep. If you hide behind one of these islands, or this island basically from north or south, you can keep the cap perma hydro. But if you're the only DD in a Z, like the DDs with hydro, and you dive into the cap, it's not gonna make a difference, because that hydro will be useless. For example, you will be radared, and the DDs will have a direct line of sight, and they can chip you and shoot you. If they like kind of commit like this, they can like shoot you, right? They can shoot you. Same for cruisers. A cruiser, if he sits here and you try to dive and he radars, he can shoot you and you take unnecessary damage just to dive. Same here. Like if a cruiser sits here and you try to dive like this cruisers will radar and chip you and shoot you. You might be dead as well. So consider your options. Do not dive to the cap immediately. Try to secure the cap. Same from the north. If you're like committing a DD and you try to make maybe a U-turn, right? And then you can shoot the DD, like you can shoot the DD like this. So, and you're gonna lose space, because if you leave the flank, the DD will just keep securing the space and the flank, and he's gonna keep pushing, zoning your team out, and you will lose, and you're immediately gonna kite away like this while he comes take C, and you're forced to leave C, and your team instantly lost the flank and they are forced to kite away. So remember that. This is the bad approach in ADD in the start. Again, this is bad. Don't do that. Like, you never know what's on the other side. You might get caught. Keep your distance. Always, have plan B, exit plan. Do not get caught. Do not do this. This is very risky, and do not please do this. Like going through the island. Even if you're a fast DD, do not do that. You do not do that. You will take so much damage. People can literally pop, and you'll be like 5 kilometers away from them. You will die. Do not do that. This approach, also a lot of DD do this in the C cap. They try to do this. You don't want to play open like this. You're exposed. There will be radars lurking around. There will be DDs. There will be like a lot of shit, and crossfires potentially. Like the biggest threat is the crossfires. Like everyone has an angle, so people can shoot you from like the north and the south, and you're exposed in the open water. You have no cover, no island to isolate like an engagement from one target. You're like pretty much exposed for everyone. So don't do that. These are bad approaches in the DDs. Don't do that. Go to the flank, try to secure it, zone people out, and after that you can get C and start working on the destroyers. Okay, so in B, you cannot leave B for sure. Leaving B will just get you zoned out. B will keep taking for the enemies for free. That's a lot of points. You don't want to do that. And also, if a DD sneaks through B, like let's say, God forbid, DD went through Yamagiri, Shima, YY, torpedo boat, basically La Pampa, you are screwed. Pretty much it. He just goes in, you're forced to chase him, he sits behind the enemy, behind enemy lines, and just torping, and it's over. Pretty much the game is over. And you, like if you are playing a DD objective or RPF, you're forced to chase him and waste nearly 10 minutes just to kill that guy. So do not leave B. If you get spawned, you have two options. Option number one, you can do this and sit ass in, and if you're radar or under hydro, you can accelerate forward. Option number two, you can do this as well and chill there. You can sit on the edge, and you can keep the cap blocked. If you have hydro, you can also keep it locked. But remember, torpedoes, they always come like this, so remember that. And DDs also do this. When they turn, they try to torp like this, so remember from the tops. This is a crossfire torpedoes. People don't expect them, so they can always be coming. Remember, half of the ship inside, half of the ship outside of the cap, so you can accelerate in time. You don't have to fully reverse your boat in the cap to get it. You can put half of your ship. Remember, guys, You can put half of your ship in the cap and get the cap. You don't have to fully reverse to the cap. You will be more exposed to the tops. But if you put the half inside, the other half outside, if the tops come, you can slightly accelerate forward, like 3 meters basically, and you will dodge. But if you're fully in the cap and the tops are coming, especially fast tops, you might take them and you get death struck, or you take 2 tops and pretty much you're like screwed from the start. Um, so yeah, again, don't do this. This is a bad approach in B. Let me show you from the other side. Just 1 second. The other side as well. Don't go here. This is bad position. This is it's exposed. You can do this. You can do this, and you can chill there. So you have good hydro there. You can like block stuff, as you can see. Wait, 6 kilometers. You can slightly reverse, and you can like almost put it in the entire cap. Same from the from the north. You can slightly reverse, and you will put the entire hydro cap in the hydro. If you're here as well, you can slightly reverse and you put the entire cap in the hydro. You do not want to commit. Don't commit here or here. These are bad islands. It looks like an island, but there's an airport and it's very bad. You will get caught and there's no escape. So even if you have hydro, going there depends. If they have no radars, you can go there. If they have radars and DDs with radars, do not commit here or here. Only commit here and here if they have no hydro DDs, like they have torpedo boats, and they have no radar cruisers, and then you can commit in both of these islands. Otherwise, don't do that. You will get caught and you will die for free. This approach is bad. Do not go here. Sorry, wait. This is a bad approach. Right, let me highlight it in red. This is exposed, open water. Even though you can accelerate, you're just too exposed. You take unnecessary damage there. Like, it's kind of risky, and very few like top players manage to make it work there because they are just good at dodging and stuff. But this is a very like bad approach for like the average World of Warships players. They just panic. They beach to the island, stuck there, and they will just like lose unnecessary HP. Also, like the crossfire potential from like a lot of different angles, so you don't wanna do that. North is more protected because the 2 islands are kind of big and they can cover, but this island is just not the way. The safest option is for you to sit on the right, because on the right, as you can see, this guy can shoot you. This guy can shoot you. Even if he shoots you, you can go slightly forward. This guy can't shoot you. Only this guy can shoot you. Like this, direct line of sight from here. And this guy who reverses to have line of sight. But if you slightly accelerate forward, you're perfectly safe from the 4 of them. So remember that. Okay, don't do this approach in ADD. Do not do this. Or like a lot of people do this. Try to do this. This is bad. Or they try to do this or this. You see these? These are the 4 arrows of death. Do this and you're dead. Simple as that. You don't want to do that. Do not do that, because you'll basically again be in a crossfire from pretty much the entire enemy team. Don't do the red approaches. They are bad. Always have an exit plan. If you get caught, this island, for example, you can't randomly make a U-turn because of the island. Look at the space you need to give full broadside sailing just to exit. Like, that's not the way. Same from here. Same from here. This island maybe not the slightest, but still you just take damage. You're forced to go like this as well. And you can't turn because you'll pull a tactical nozzle and you'll die. You're forced to give full broadside just to turn and run away. So don't do that, guys. Remember. Okay, that's B covered. If you have a radar as well, like let's say Smolensk, Ragnar, or Gdansk, you can put yourself there, and this is what 7.5 looks like from a Ragnar and Smolensk. As you can see, you can radar the entire cap. Same from here, same from here. You can radar it. You can like reverse and shoot the entire cap and put it under the radar technology. Same for the Gdansk. Gdansk have the short one, but still 9 kilometer is very strong and very, very effective. As you can see, you can pretty much be anywhere around this entire, like there, and you can have resets on B with the Gdansk, because you have like extremely long radar and effective in decapping, so especially combined with a radar cruiser. Well, that's B for you. Let's move this circle away so you guys don't get confused. So now we go towards A cap. So let's say you spawn in ADD. A is kinda bad. Why is that? Because of this island. This island, it's good for cruisers, bad for DDs. Because if you commit there, pretty much you're dead. Or you can't escape. Like people will rush you, and your teammates will leave you. Like remember, 9 line, it doesn't have that island. It's open water. DDs can get ambushed because of these two islands. And now towards A, it's even worse because if you do this in a DD, try to scout, or you do this in a DD, you will find a lot of ships in your mouth. You'll find like 3, 4 because they spawn together, and you might die instant. Do not do that, please. That's bad. You have options. Option number 1, you don't go there, especially here on 1-2. There is an exception. Usually we say don't leave flanks, but in loop playing 1-2, it's really bad because if you're playing in a div, you can dive together because you can make it work and everyone have each other backs. But in randoms, going there in a DD, in a cruiser you can dive because you will have the lock. You can lock it with a BB as well. But in a DD, do not go there because this is gonna be like very. First of all, it's a very small area for you as a DD to maneuver, and you can't like have a good angles to torp. Right, like people just dive in. You need to go here to have direct line of sight of torpedoes, or you need to go like this to have direct line of torpedoes, and that will get you killed. So it's just like not the way. Usually you have two options. Option number 1 in ADD, you can do this and turn in, keep the island between you and them, and slightly reverse to scout this entire area from north, right? And if you get spotted or there's like a radar, you can slightly accelerate forward and disengage like this if you want. You see, like you just make it to that island to shield you and disengage because like people can just, press W on you. Same from the south. If you play DD, even if you have hydro, radar, or anything, it's just like small area. That's like the perfect island for an ambush for a DD. Do not go there or commit. Just because you have tools, it doesn't mean you're safe. Remember that. Like you just don't have space to maneuver, and you're kind of stuck there, and you will die. You have a second option, which is from the south. Same. You just do this and turn in to keep the island between you and them, so no one can shoot you. And you slightly try to reverse to scout. If you scout ships kiting, you can smoke and farm, torp, keep spotting, whatever. If they are committing in with hydros and raiders, basically you want to go forward. And again, we try to escape and use this island and escape again. So make sure to reach that island so it can provide some sort of protection, and then you run out. Okay. Second option is with the approach, you go to the island. You insta go to the cap with the DD, like you just go to the cap and sit like this and slightly like this, so you can torp here if people are diving and approaching, and you can also smoke and shoot. So same for the south, like you just do this, you do this, and you torp this approach because you're fast and you will get the upper hand and a better angle to torp because they're cruisers and BB they're slow. Your DD fast and your torps will be like perfect on target. You can also do this if you want. You can do this and torp like this because people play this space a lot. Same for here. You can do this approach and turn, use the island as cover, and just torp the channels. Like you can always land torps. One thing you don't want to do in the approach, you see this approach, people do this. You don't want to just turn. You don't know what's on the other side. Like people do park cruisers here and here, like radar cruise. If you make a U-turn in front of them, you're dead. Do not turn like that. You're exposed. You have no cover, and that's a bad, very bad approach. Same, like people do this. Like they go and they turn out, like they're exposed. Everyone can shoot them. Like this, and this. Everyone can shoot you. Don't do that. You see, when you turn in, no one can shoot you. Only this guy can shoot you. But you can accelerate forward and dodge easy. But if you do the other approach, which is turning outside of the island, you see, look how many people, like, the people can shoot you, like, literally, the radar cruisers, DDs. If you're hydrated, you can slightly reverse and shoot you. But yeah, this island is very well protected. I played it. That's why, like, if you play ranked, you will pretty much memorize every island. Loop is always there in ranked, like in the map pool. Always there, so if you play it long enough, you'll pretty much memorize everything. And yeah, so don't do the outside turn, you just get caught, and please don't do that. And there's another issue I've noticed in the DD. They do this as well. They do this, like this, or they do this. So it's simple. Like these approaches, they're bad. They're really bad. It will get you killed. Do not do that. Raider cruisers usually try to dive in fast to shield themselves, and you get spotted. They raider, you're dead. Do not do these approaches. They are really bad and risky for you as a DD main. So remember that. Usually, when you dive towards a with a hydro or radar, it's perfectly working for you because you have everything you need. Basically, you have the hydro fully covering the entire cap for like 2 3 minutes, depends. The radars as well does cover it, like even better. This is the small and Ragnar, and this is the Gdansk radar. Usually don't want to dive in a Ragnar in because you don't have tops, and people usually tend to monk on you because you don't have tools. Droid can be fine, but Ragnar don't do that. Try to play in the edge, try to farm like in the start. Just don't commit. It's kind of risky, and people will grow some balls to just push you. You're not a small and have tops, daring have tops, vampire, Zeds, daring, everything pretty much have tops except the Ragnar. So don't dive in a Ragnar there. And yeah, that's the approach for now with the DDs. And yeah, we're gonna switch back to the cruisers. And as always, a second, we remove it. We go towards C. Yeah, we start with C as always. I want to remove it, so yeah, it's kind of clear. Okay, perfect. Now cruisers usually want to do this. You want to do this and hold like this, right? You want to like hold like this. Like even in an anchor cruiser, Stalingrad, Moskva, Novo, Petro, you can play there. Dimon, Salem, Worcester, Minnow. If you play like a Zao, Hindi, Jenin, you wanna play the outside, stay on the edge, so you can farm this. Like doing like this, so you can farm this. Am I making sense? And you don't wanna commit. Look at the beauty about this. Like I always say, this is like a chess game. Always remember. So look at this. If you commit here, you don't want to commit there. If you commit here, you're stuck. Remember that cruiser's gonna kite. You'll be spotted by the DD, and this cruiser will just farm you open water, which is a Zao, Hindi, and you in a Deng, you might lose the trade. Sorry, in a Demon or Salem or any Baoian cruiser there, you're gonna lose the trade. And you can't randomly reverse, because if you do, people can one-shot you from there. Same for here. If the cruiser commits, and those cruisers on the north just kite you, they can just farm you for free. And if you try to reverse, this guy can actually one-shot you. Remember that. You see, it's always like an X cross, like always like squares, everything can crossfire everything else. Remember that. So what you need to do here, remember very carefully, you need to sit like this, but don't commit neither right or the left. Put yourself in a Bawin angle, so if you spot something or you spot something, you can shoot and you're ready to turn in. Same for the north, like put yourself there ready to shoot here, and if there's heavy pressure or torpedoes, you can slightly accelerate forward. You don't want to commit. You don't want to commit to the flank, and especially here, because this is open area. If you commit there, you're dead. You'll be exposed to tops. BBs will just one-shot you from the nose. HE spammers will just kite and farm you, and nothing you can do about it, and it will just be bad for you. Remember that. You don't want to play here, honestly. I mean, a lot of people do play here. But honestly, like maybe Moscow works there or Stalingrad, but you're just gonna get farmed, like heavy farmed, and don't play there. Neither this one. This island is kinda this island and this island is kinda good, but these two are bad. Like legit, they're just bad. You don't wanna play there. You're just gonna get stuck. You're gonna be perma spotted. People can shoot you, and it was like unnecessary approach. I guess people don't know it yet, so I'm telling you, don't play these two islands. They feel safe, but they're not safe. The moment you commit there and you find out that people can actually shoot, like remember these cruisers, they can have direct line of sight and shoot you permac, and they can also surface lit you. Same for this guy, remember? He can have direct line of sight and he can free farm you. This is just him, that cruiser. So we're not even counting the support fire from his teammates. So yeah, don't do this approach, please. Like this is bad. Like this is bad. This is good. You can play here or here, but you need to be careful. And yeah, don't dive to the cap in the start in a cruiser, because you know loop is kind of a very large map, and you know there's a lot of open space channels. You'll be exposed to tops, and there will be BBs lurking and looking for crossfires. Also, if you try to cross like this, you know this guy, remember, he can always cross shot you. Same for this guy. If you try to go for C, remember this guy, he can always cross shot you. And this is just him. Again, we're not even counting the other possibilities and scenarios, especially BBs or cruisers that are paying attention to the minimap, so they know who kind of fucked up the approach. They can insta punish him. And yeah, so don't do that. That's the north and the south from the seaside. If you spawn in middle, uh, you have options, great options actually. Option number one, you dive like this. You sit there. You don't want to dive here. This island is bad. Don't dive there in cruiser. This is a really bad dive in a cruiser. Don't do that. This island is bad. It looks big, but it's bad. Like it's just bad. Don't dive there. From the south, you don't wanna dive here. Like diving there will get you killed. This is a very bad island, a really bad island. You wanna dive to the other side, which is here. So you have options. You can slightly go like this, right? And you can slightly reverse if you can. So you can shoot, or you can slightly accelerate and you can shoot the DD, or maybe shoot that guy. I don't think you'll have range on this guy, but if he commits, or like people commit, you can always like slightly accelerate and you can crossfire these people. Again, this is a bad approach. It's like kind of weird. It's like literally the opposite. um, the green is the best approach for you in an anchor cruiser, which is a cruiser's revolves radars. If you play a Hindi Jenin or a Zhao or a Henry or Bruno or Napu, don't do the green approach. You wanna play open water. Like you have 4 turrets pretty much in a lot of those cruisers. Going Bawe in a Zhao or a Hindi is just dummy, and don't do that. You're like more preferably a long fire support chip, and you can use all your turrets, bring more DPM and more damage to the fight. Getting stuck nose in is not the play. You don't have the best DPM either to withstand fights against high DPM cruisers, so don't do that. You can play open water, like you can do this and try to farm if you have range on these people. Same from the middle, you can do this and you can farm people like this, BBs. Also like this, you have the second option. If you're playing these like cruisers, the long HE spammers, you can like just farm, and from here you can just farm people and BBs. Like a lot of errors, but you guys, you know, like understand, because again, this is a chess game. Everything is so calculated. Like you have the squares, and just create your crossfire, pay attention, and everything should be fine. Let's see, cruiser approaches. Now we go for A. Remember A. So when you spawn, you have options. Option number one, this island is very good. This island is also good. You can have the radar around the cap, and you can keep it perma locked, and you can shoot people like hard. If you scout to A, you insta dive. You insta dive to the island. If you're playing anchor cruisers, for example, which is the radar cruisers. If you're playing against Zhao, Hindi, Jen, and Henry, you can like kite out. You can insta kite out and let people come, and then you just farm them basically if they enter. Your DD can go to A to scout, so you can make your U-turn while your DD here scouting that guy, and you can farm here. Same from the south. Like the DD goes in to scout. You're spotted. This cruiser can shoot you. DD can torp you, and the other cruiser can shoot. So you need to dive. The radars are actually quite effective in this area. Like they're very deadly and very effective. This is what the 10 Demon looks like. This is what the Moskva Stalin Petrol looks like from these two islands. It's very deep and very scary, honestly, in a DD or a cruiser. And this is what a 12 or a 10 kilometer radars looks like on 1-2. You see, you can radar A in 1, 2, 3, 4. You can literally radar 4 squares at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4 line fully covered in the radar. Same from the north. That's why going in a DD here is not the play. You do not want to do that. You go there, you just die for free. It's just a very small area for you as a DD to play with in a maneuver, and if you get caught, you're pretty much screwed. And this is the 12, so let's put the 10-kilometer raiders, which is gonna be even scarier and deadlier. Let's say like it's a Worcester, Salem, Des Moines, or a Minnow, Raider Minnow. So that Raider will last for eternity, and there is no escape from you. So this is what the Raider looks like, and this is on the edge. So if the Minnow try to go slightly forward, he can, like, keep the entire cap under the Raider. Same from the north, like he sits here, he can slightly go like this and keep the cap under the Raider. But the problem is they can't shoot this guy. Same for this guy. They need to have a slight angle, or those EDs can't park themselves correctly, because if you park yourself, there's a blind spot here, and there's a blind spot here, and here. Again, if you played loop so much, you'll just like know exactly where the blind spot is. First blind spot is here, right there, and you see this gap, it's like a pocket. You see it's like a pocket. That's the second blind spot. You perfectly like park yourself there. No one can shoot you. No one can shoot you until like people from B can shoot you, or yeah, pretty much people from B. From where is it again? Wait 1 second. Yeah, like here, someone like reverse to have direct line of sight like this, or someone reverse like this to have direct line of sight like this. This guy can shoot you. Like if you're here, this guy can shoot unless you fuck up your parking. And if you're here, this guy can also shoot you. He just can't. Like he can't lob on you. It's simple as that. You can lob on him, by the way, if you're a DD, which is kind of funny. If you're playing like a floaty arcs, like a daring Marceau, you can lob on that cruiser without him lobbing back. And that's the beauty about it. So yeah, that's the cruiser approach. Again, if you're playing a long achieve spammer, you don't want to commit or dive or play here or here. You don't want to do that. You just guide and try to farm. If you're Jenin, you can spam and flood the channel with tops. If you're Henry, you can die, but preferably like because Henry have perfect or a Condi, they have the perfect turret layout. They have like 6 turrets, and Condi 8. They have 2 turrets, 6 barrels in the Henry, and 2 turrets with the Condi, which mean 8 barrels. So Henry 6 guns and the Condi 8 guns in the front. So you can actually fight Noizen. So yeah, you can play that. Depends on the matchmaking. Again, don't like dive if you see a heavy matchmaking. You can play on the edge and just farm, because you have the DD spotting, the cruising spotting, and etc. This position and this position can be compromised, because you don't have options. Another approach, sorry, I forgot to mention, is 1 second, is this approach. Like this is a very good island. If you sit there, you can just lob. This, on the other hand, is not a good island. This island is just bait. Do not go there. This island is bait. Don't go here. This island will get you killed. Do not go here by any means. The other one, it's bigger and it's kind of flatter, and so when you reverse, you actually go dark. But here, as you can see, when you reverse, you're not gonna go dark. Like you're just gonna have to do this to go dark. But here, like, let me show it. You can slightly stay Noizen, and you can just slightly reverse, and you'll be dark, and you have so much space to play with here. You can like do this, you can like reverse like this if you want, and then do this, right? But here it's kinda shit. Like you just don't have space to maneuver, and if you get caught, you just get caught. So this is the cruiser approach in loop. We're gonna discuss the BB right now. And yeah, 1 second. Let's say you're playing ABB in loop. Usually you have options. Option number 1, you go like this, as always, to the flank. This is option number 2. This is what you need to do. So you go there. Remember this cruiser we were talked about? You can cross shot him from there with that with the D that you're spotting and torping, and the long HE spammer with you. If there's if like the DD leaves, just go there. He might be spotted. That cruiser he might shoot. He might be spotted, so you can punish him. If your cruisers also leave, do not leave your flank. Remember, leaving your flank will just cost the flank. Pretty much it. Simple as that. You leave your flank, you lost it, and they are applying pressure on you. You have no stopping power, you're forced to kite and they just won't see for free. The cap is second points for them, and suddenly in the first 16 17 minutes of the game you just lost the cap and you lost the flank, simple as that. So, and while your team is still trying to get into a flank to the other side, which is A, remember flanks are important, do not leave them by any means. Try to do a stand, activate Gandalf mode, like delay as much as you can. So yeah, you go there, and you can also cross-shot that cruiser we talked about. You can also have line of sight on that guy with a banjo or Republic. Well, pretty much any Ohio, any heavy punching Wisconsin punching a baby from the nose. As you can cross. If you make this U-turn, remember this guy like is gonna go nose in. You can shoot him like this if he's spotted, or he's kind of shooting, he's not going dark, you can also shoot him. um, Also, yeah, the cruiser as well, who like can go here to try to shield himself. This island is good. The BB needs to commit so deep like this, I think, if I remember correctly. If he's here, he can't lob on you. He needs to be there to have direct line of sight on you. So you need to know how to park yourself. And if you park yourself, guys, remember, like I've seen this problem like happening a lot lately. Let me delete these 1 second. Oh, sorry, wait. Yeah, like this. This is a problem. A lot of people do it. When you park yourself, people don't hug the island, right? This is how they hug the island. It's like there you can put or fit two cruisers right next to him. Hug the islands. Like, why are you so far away? Do not like play like that. You just like, first of all, if you play around the island, you can always accelerate slightly forward, right, and use that cliff to block line of sight. But if you're in the open water, you're not using that cliff or the edge of the island to shield yourself or block line of sight. You're just exposed open water. And the island can mess with the dispersion. So when people shoot you, the dispersion goes through the island, and you land like shell or 2 or 3 out of like what, 10, 8, depends on which BB you're playing. But if you are in the open like that, people can have like a direct line of sight. So they can kill you. And another mistake I've seen in cruisers, they over reverse. Like, look, you're like there's always a limit. You can reverse, but this is your limit, right? Because of that island. Like, people can always cross shot you from behind and one shot you. People do this. They just reverse open water like this, and just to be one shot from this guy, or like this, they just like reverse open water like that. They just get one shot. Like, there's a limitation. Like, you see, this is your playground. Like, that island is your playground. Like, you go forward, you slightly reverse, and you go forward like this. You play like this. Do not over reverse. Do not over peak. That's how you do it in the bowing cruises, like this. If you over reverse, you get one shot. If you over peak, you also get one shot. Control your movement, please. Okay, so we continue with the BBs. So yeah, that's what we said. What you need to do basically, you have option number 1, which is there to crossfire like this and like this. Option number 2, so you can shoot here and you shoot like this. Same here, you can shoot this guy, you can shoot this guy, and you have like options. If you spawn in middle, also you have 2 options, option number 1 and option number 2. Option number 1, option number 2. Remember DDs, and I told you they can spam the channel. You're there, you might be spammed, so be careful. But that position is just too good for BBs. So if you play there, remember that guy, we can have direct line of sight. Remember this BB who made a turn, we can have direct line of sight on that guy. So we can shoot these 2 cruisers, we can shoot and crossfire these cruisers as well if we want. Like, you know, remember these people, we can shoot them like this. And remember, right, like this guy as well, like who's gonna make a U-turn. But since you made a U-turn, you can already be assigned to the shares. You will take damage, depends on the guy aim and you know, like skills basically. And because you didn't go nose in, you're not like broadside to him, so you're kind of assigned and safe. But remember, overmatch, like there's some just BBs that they just nuke you to the ground. So yeah, that's what you can crossfire. Also, if you turn in, you can like crossfire here. A lot of cruisers go there. Do not go there. That's bad, really bad. And you can also like help B as a BB as well. You can help and shoot it and this guy. You can also shoot that guy that is nose in. Remember that. You can also shoot, but here it's kind of hard to shoot this guy. So if you commit like this, maybe you have a shot on that cruiser. But you need to turn away because you'll give broadside to these people, and you don't want to do that. Also, you'll be compromised to torpedoes. Remember when I said in a DD you have options? You just turn and like launch stops like this. So you turn in and you launch stop. You might be the target of these torpedoes. So do not try to overcommit and maybe keep your distance. You know, like zoom in on the water, or here you see the distance in the crosshair like 14-15 kilometer. Just try to keep your distance. Don't like do this approach. It's like really risky, really close. It will just get you killed, or you lose so much HP in the start for absolutely nothing. Sorry, a second. So yeah, that's what you need to do in BB, especially in B. In A side, north and south, in a BB you have again two options. Option number one, you try to go with your cruisers. So among BB doesn't work on him, like Schleven or a Libertud, or anything like wants to game. So you are there to kind of deny, because if you leave your cruiser alone, you will just die. If you're both of you be on the island, you can make a stand, and people try to commit, they just ain't and die. So yeah, you can do this as well. You insta commit, you can shoot this cruiser. Remember that cruiser, you park there, you can shoot him. You can shoot like this. Same like for, remember that guy who can kite and hydro, and then you can slightly go behind the island and shield yourself. You don't even need to turn right or left. You can just sit like slightly bow in and see what you can do. The second option is you do this, and you can shoot that guy, and you can shoot this guy, and you can shoot this guy who's approaching. Same from here. Like if you commit like this, you can shoot that demon or a Moskva. You can shoot there, right? And you can shoot there. This is the beauty about the BBs. You don't want to commit in a BB. Do not do this approach. It's kind of bad, right? This approach is bad. Don't get too close. You don't want to sit like in the open. Always like consider yourself. Don't put yourself in a crossfire, because look here, people can shoot you, right? People can shoot you from two different angles. But if you commit, for example, let's say you commit like this, these people can shoot you. Like this island is fully covering you. Only this guy can shoot you. These people can't shoot you. Same for north. If you do this approach, right, and use the island and your guns here, these guys can shoot you. Only this guy can shoot you, and this also can shoot you. Like islands are important. Make sure when you fight someone, you always isolate the fight. And pretty much it, yeah. And that's how you use the full potential of the approach, because minimap is so important. Minimap is so strong, like especially if you know the islands. If you know the islands and you know how to approach them, it's kinda like GG for you. Like you pretty much when your engagement, islands provide massive cover. The terrain will provide a lot of potential plays. So, for example, you can turn right, make a pressure. You can go to the left. Pick someone, give them broadside. You just have so much options. So use those options. And yeah, these are our cruiser DD cruisers and BB approaching gameplay. And this is a series dedicated for how to become or how to get how to become a better player in World of Warships. This is the ace map of the pool. If you like the content, you can always share with your friends. You can press a like, drop a comment, let me know what you think. You can always come and watch me live on twitch.tv/wordspawn. I'm streaming daily, so if you have any questions, you can come and ask me there on Twitch. You can already press a sub in the YouTube channel if you like the content. And yeah, thank you guys for coming, and as always, I will catch you next time. King of Wakanda is out.